Just stand up. Look at the movement on this thing. It's not. Oh no, I don't need anyone. I'm fine. Yeah, it's all good. So here we are, New York Comic Con, another year. Fun times. Who's excited? I'm excited. We got Walking Dead season 8. It's going to be starting on October 22nd. Got Fear the Walking Dead running right now. It's very exciting. Got Secret History of Comics. That'll be coming out in early November, which is like a behind-the-scenes look at a lot of the cool stories about how comics get made and things like that. Where we peeling back the curtain and showing you guys much stuff you already know. It's for a mass audience. It's not you guys will watch it and be like, yeah, I already know all this stuff. That's not true actually. There's some cool stuff in there that even I was like, man, they dug this up. I didn't know about this. So I'm excited about that show. Got a little slideshow, so I'm going to talk about some comic stuff. I think I'm going to, like, if I wave my hand, there will be an image that shows up or something. I'm not sure. We'll see. I think the guy went and got a chair, so okay, great. So here is the cover to Walking Dead 175. I believe it's debuting here. Very excited about this. It's the beginning of a big new story arc called New World Order, where we're going to finally get to see the Ohio colony, which is called the Commonwealth, that Eugene has been talking to on the radio for, I don't know, I'm going to say like 25 issues. Every now and then a subplot starts, and it takes a long time for me to get to the point, but I appreciate the support over the years. A place called the Commonwealth. It's going to be the largest community that they've encountered. I'm going to spoil things because it's early in the morning, and I'm not real practiced about talking about this stuff, but very excited about these guys. There's a lot of interesting aspects to this community that's going to be really changing the direction of the book in some interesting ways, and going to provide the opportunity to tell different kinds of stories that we've told in the past. So I'm really excited about another era in The Walking Dead, and come on, that's going to make a great billboard for season 13, right? I mean, real excited for that. So yeah, those guys are threatening. It'll be fun. So that's cool stuff going on with Walking Dead. So let's here I'm going to move my hand again, see if this happens. We're going to get this going. It's working there. Okay, great. So starting with Outcast 32, which I believe comes out in December, but don't quote me on that because I'm really bad at dates. We're starting this new storyline called Invasion, which is really going to kind of kick things into high gear for Outcast. It's been a slow burn series as we kind of set things up, putting the pieces in place and kind of showing you this world where there's these evil entities trying to take over. And this really starts to show just how bad things have gotten in Rome, West Virginia, as Kyle and the other characters start to realize that there's more people possessed than they thought, and they might actually be losing this conflict. And so if we go through, I think we have a couple more Outcast covers. This is going to be a very big storyline. Also, Roland Tusk is the new villain that's been set up, and you see some really cool changes are happening with Kyle, who's kind of holed up on this farm, and basically there's more and more people that start showing up that start kind of looking up to him in a way that he's not really comfortable with because of the special abilities that he has. And I think we have one more cool slide. Yeah, and so they start kind of having to fortify that just because things are ramping up so much. So this is going to run for 5 months through issue 32 to whatever 32 plus 5 is. I'm going to guess 37. Probably wrong, I don't know. And then there we go. So that's going to be great. Working with Paul Azaceta and Elizabeth Brightweiser on that. Fantastic art team, makes it look so great. I almost feel like I could do next to nothing and they would just make it look awesome. So that's always comforting and relaxing for me. But all right, let's keep going through here. 6, 8, 9. Invincible. Very excited about this. So this is the next issue to come out. Much to Ryan's chagrin, this is a 30-page issue, so it's got 10 extra pages of story. It's a huge story about, it's the end of all things, part 10 of 12, but if you look at the top, it is also Robot War part 1 of 1. So there's like 2 event storylines going on in one issue, which, and I dare Marvel and DC to top that. So that's going to be awesome. And huge conflict. I mean, look, I'll just say, there's like only 3 issues left. This is the final conflict between Mark and Robot. It's going to be a really big deal. A lot of stuff going on. Pages are super complicated. Ryan is very happy with me. We're definitely leaving on a high note. Our relationship is going to continue for years after this book. He is not mad at me in any way. I love you, Ryan, if you're watching this. So let's go to the next slide, which will be the cover to Invincible 143, which a lot of people know that Mark has a son that he didn't know about, that still doesn't know about. Well, this is the issue where he finds out about that kid and has to deal with that. So this is going to be a very heartfelt, cool issue that might be a little depressing. Who knows? We'll see. Next slide. 144. This is the best double-sized final issue of all time, so I'm announcing here for the first time, this is going to be a 48-page issue, so we're going to end with a huge, massive issue that'll be half drawn by Ryan Ottley and half drawn by Invincible co-creator Corey Walker. And so Corey's coming back for the final issue after doing the 6 issues that led to the End of All Things storyline. You got a super pissed off looking Mark Grayson wearing a Viltrumite uniform. That's a weird note to end the book on. I hope. So yeah, things gonna be it's gonna be a very strange issue. I'm hoping that we stick the landing. You guys can be the judge, but I'm very excited about what we're doing, and I think that when you guys read the end of Invincible, you'll go like, holy crap, there's like 17,000 different stories in this thing, and they're all connected. They're all like leading to a thing. Like that's really weird. I didn't expect that. To be honest, I didn't expect it either. But I'm very happy with the ending and how it's turning out. So hopefully you guys will too. It's been a lot of fun. Let's go to the next slide. Oblivion. What the heck is this? What's going on? I don't know if you guys saw this morning. We announced that I got a new book coming out March 7th of 2018 called Oblivion Song. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but in September we did a series of variant covers with this amazing artist, Lorenzo De Felici. He did 8 covers for Skybound on all of our books that shipped in September. The Walking Dead one was spectacular. They're all spectacular. But hopefully that gave you a chance to get to know this guy. He's a superstar in Italy, does a lot of amazing work there, but hasn't done any work in the U.S. yet. And this is a book I like to say is, it's post-apocalypse adjacent. So it's not a post-apocalypse story. There's basically, you know what? I think we can describe this better. I've got a trailer. You guys want to see a trailer? Yeah. All right. Let's roll the clip. I don't know who I'm talking about. just talk and do like a Q&A, but this whole audio-video thing, it's a lot easier. It's pretty cool. So anyway, that's Oblivion song. It's going to be coming out March 7th, 2018. I just saw it on the screen. And you know, there's a lot of time between now and then, so there's going to be a lot of reveals, a lot of previews, a lot of you know, big stuff that we have planned. I might appear on some television talking about it, so I'm very excited about that. So you guys will be sick of hearing about this book by the time it comes out in March, and then when it comes out in March, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm not sick of this book anymore at all. Hopefully. So anyway, I'm ready for Q&A, so if you guys want to go ahead and line up with these microphones, let's do it in an orderly fashion. There's plenty of time here. There's no need. Sir, do not elbow people. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I'm curious when Outcast Season 2 is going to come here in America?
Outcast Season 2. I think they're making an announcement very soon. There's been some restructuring at Cinemax, which is what the delay has been. But I know when the date is, but I don't know if I can say it now or if they're going to announce it. Is that am I getting a no? I'm getting a no, or is that a yes? Should I just announce it or no? A window? A window?
Like a season or a year, even.
It'll be warm next year, depending on your region of the country. Is that good? It'll be warm every region of the country. Yeah. Like a spring or summer kind of thing. We'll see. So yeah.
Why'd you kill Lucille?
Well, I just got to kill something. I mean, it was a tough one too. I mean, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of an audience having an emotional connection to an inanimate object. So that's kind of fun. But I don't know. It was Lucille's time. It was starting to get the big head, you know, making too many demands. Which is why everyone dies on the Walking Dead show. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Go ahead.
Hey, Robert. Just wondering, how many of you are there when you're making all the different feedbacks in the back?
There's room for a few under this shirt. But...
Believe me, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love what I do, and I enjoy spending a lot of time working. So, you know, I don't know. There's elves. Go ahead.
I'm curious how much involvement you have with Fear the Walking Dead, and like how different is it for you with your involvement with that versus the original?
Yeah, I mean, same level of involvement I have in Walking Dead, except for the fact that there's not a comic book that it's all based on. So, to me, that kind of makes Fear the Walking Dead almost more fun because there's so much, you know, unknown stuff to discover and so much more work to be done there. And so, you know, it's a little bit less of, you know, retreading familiar ground. I mean, I love working on Walking Dead, but, you know, when we adapt things, you know, very closely and, you know, a little bored because I'm like, yeah, I've already done this. This is going to be cool. The fans will like this, but, you know, I just wish we could turn them into a dragon. I think that they wouldn't expect that. I don't ever have to talk about turning people into dragons on Fear the Walking Dead because everything's new and different. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And you guys liking season 3? Yeah. Going very well? Cool. The things I know about season 4. Oh, the things. You guys are going to be so excited. Go ahead.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning to you.
What was everyone's reaction when the princess debuted?
No, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that much. I wasn't in everyone's living room as they were reading. I'm going to pretend people read comics in their living room. It's all in the bathroom, right?
Maybe.
We all know. So I mean, it seems fairly positive. I mean, I'm very excited about the character, but I know what's, you know, coming up with her and stuff. I think that she's fairly unique. She's going to add like a cool new flavor to the book, and I think that you know, there's a lot of cool scenes coming up with her that I'm really excited about. People seem to dig her. I know, you know, anytime you introduce any character in The Walking Dead, the cycle is usually like there's like 20% of people that are like, I don't know why this character is in here. This guy's got a tiger, you're ruining the book. This guy's just doing the F-bomb every now and then. He's got a baseball bat, that's not gonna work. And then, you know, like 2 or 3 months pass and it's like, it's my favorite character. So I don't know, we'll see.
And also, who came up with the princess?
You know, Charlie and I. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wouldn't it be weird if I was like Scott Snyder. What? Really? Go ahead.
Hello, and first of all, I want to say me and my dad are a huge Walking Dead fan. And
Where's your dad? Not that much of a fan. Work, come on.
I was wondering.
No one else here works.
I was wondering how do you feel about.
Shame on your dad.
I was wondering how you feel about your work, especially Walking Dead becoming a TV show and a video game. Like the TV show and the video games are hugely successful. How do you feel about how successful they became?
I hate it. It's the worst. Sometimes I sit in my house and I cry, going, why couldn't the TV show and video game be unsuccessful? No, I mean, it's nice. I mean, are you talking about like jealousy because people like the show and the video game so much that sometimes they say mean and cruel things like, I like the video game better than the comic, or I prefer the show to the comic? It doesn't matter because I get money from all of them. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Great creators make cameos in their own creations, so I'm curious, when are we going to see Robert Kirkman make a cameo appearance on Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead?
Absolutely. Hold on. Stop. Halt all applause. No, never, because I hate that. It's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I'm watching Lord of the Rings, and, I'm like, I know what Peter Jackson looks like. I got to see Peter Jackson. It takes me out of the movie. The Spawn movie, famous Spawn movie, big alley scene. Todd McFarlane's, like, in the alley for like 8 minutes, and he was like, in my contract, you have to hold on me for 35 seconds. And so there's this massive fight between Spawn and the Violator, and they're like holding on Todd McFarlane for like, I'm like, what are you doing? This is terrible. So yeah, I don't know. I find it distracting. I think it's, I could do it any time if I wanted to, but I definitely never be a zombie. That is no fun. Also, fun fact. People that make good zombies are people with small heads because you have to build out, because you can't like bore holes in people and make them look rotted, so you have to build out fake skin and bore holes in that. So the only thing that happens when you get made a zombie is your head gets like twice the size. So like you see zombies walking around and have normal looking heads, it's because those people have small heads and they, well, there's not such thing as a normal head. I definitely have an abnormal head. But so what I'm saying is like I would look like a pumpkin. Like walking around if I ever were to become a zombie, so it's not good.
How you doing, Rob?
Also, M. Night Shyamalan is like putting himself in all these movies, and you're like, I get it. You want to be on camera? Go ahead. Isn't it enough that you're a director? I don't understand. Go ahead. You're writing the movies too.
Were you on?
I'm really excited about that. Yeah. At the end of that other movie, I was like, what? Split? This is happening? I'm so excited for Glass. Go ahead. Samuel L. Jackson coming back. It's going to be great. You get none. Sit down. Now, go ahead. I like your shirt.
Thank you. Were you walking around with Dan Harmon yesterday?
I wish I was. But no, I wasn't.
We were walking around the Javits Center, and we saw you walk down the stairs, and we thought you were walking with Dan Harmon, and then I freaked out and froze.
Hey, Sean Kirkman's getting mistaken for Dan Harmon now. Pretty nice.
There you go.
Pretty nice.
So what's your view on being approached in public?
I hate it, but I'm always super nice because I don't want anybody telling stories about me being a jerk. But inside, you should always know that I'm going, fuck, why is this guy doing this? I don't want to talk to people I know, and now I have to talk to people I don't know. Why would he want a picture with me? I don't want pictures of me. But no, it doesn't bother me. You should have said something. I am very busy at conventions. I'm going to regret saying this. Because of that, sometimes if you come to a convention in order to get me to sign a book of yours, which I'm always happy to do, I am hard to get to. So if you have a marker ready and you see me at a Denny's and you came to a convention to get my signature, but you had trouble getting tickets for the line or whatever, like, it's fine to bother me. Just have the book ready. If it's in a bag, that really makes me mad. Like, hey, can you sign my book real quick? I'm now going to open it. I could have done this before I talked to you, but I'm now going to take 10 minutes to untape this thing. That's bad. I don't like that at all. But no, I mean, I'm happy to sign books. I mean, I get stopped, in the aisles and stuff at New York Comic Con, and usually I try to carry a marker with me, so it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Cool. Just not you personally. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Everyone has a Rick and Morty shirt? This is awesome. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Walking Dead shirts anymore? That's like 4 years ago. I understand. It's totally fine. My time has passed. Go ahead.
I have a question. I think you
Is
cast.
Rick and Morty on the badges for this convention? Hell no. Walking Dead. That's right. Go ahead.
I got a question. I think your casting is great for all your shows, but I'm curious as to why you always choose, or mostly choose, British actors.
To be completely honest, in a lot of cases, we don't even know they're British. So they come in and they do a read and then they leave and we're like, oh, they were great. And then we find, oh God, they're British. What the hell? So not that we don't like hiring British actors, but it is a lot. I have no idea. I don't know. It's definitely a bias that we have because we hate Americans. Next. Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Also, with the, you planning to have Fear cast and cross paths with Walking Dead at some point?
That would be cool. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up?
Wow.
Yeah, that was loud.
Yeah, no.
I was next to a speaker. Go ahead.
First off, I just want to say I got a Sasquatch costume in my hotel room, and I get world's about to end.
This is not going well. Well, you say one thing on a podcast like 7 years ago.
I know, you never
Just
let it down.
haunts you for the rest of your life.
But
I love that at least 30% of the audience right now is going to have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not going to tell you.
you're gonna have to find out.
And the people that are in on the joke think that's very funny, but go ahead.
The new character. I love when you had the dialogue of. I see a lot of hyphens, and it's like, what? Mexican American, African American. Is that just so Letterhacks doesn't call you racist anymore?
Well, Letterhacks hasn't called me racist in a while, I'm thankful to say.
You're racist.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah. Oh, God. Let me recover from that. No, I mean, I actually got, there's a thing where, like, white supremacists are on Twitter. That's like a thing. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news. And so I got a few tweets that were like, how dare you put people that aren't white in a comic book, you asshole. And they're like, oh, you got political. Your comic's all political now. I'm not reading this book anymore. You've ruined it. And, it's kind of a don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of situation. But, so you're a white supremacist. You're more than welcome to not read my comics. I prefer you still pay for them. But don't read them. Don't read them. I'll take your money, but I don't want your support. So anyway, literally the only reason I did that is because, one, I thought, I thought it'd be a cool scene, and I thought it was somewhat character defining for Princess because that's something that she pays attention to. But also, I wanted to make sure that people knew that that was a Latina character, because it's a black and white book, and there's no skin tone thing, and you can't
on the cover.
That's true. But I wanted to make sure that people knew. So I was like,
Just run her with a Mexican flag behind her or
I
something.
could have had her eating a burrito. Just really awful. So yeah.
I told you he's racist.
Maybe a little. I don't know. Go ahead.
Love Invincible so much. Both sad and also happy that you're going to
Thank you. What level of racism do you think I have? I don't want to move on from this. I like the discomfort. Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to.
He's like, gladly. Go ahead.
Mixed race.
The fact that you felt the need to say that. No, go ahead.
So I was wondering, I really loved your writing on the character of Robot. I was wondering what went through your head when you decided to go the direction where Robot decided to conquer the world.
Yeah. Spoilers from 4 years ago. But I don't know. Robot to me is a character of pure intelligence, and I was kind of thinking about the idea of weighing the needs of the many versus the needs of the few, and how you kind of have to have emotion and humanity to temper those instincts. And so when you have a character that is so intelligent that he can look at everything logically, as opposed to with any kind of humanity or heart, it actually steers you into some pretty dark directions. And so he's absolutely right, like on paper. You know, if you actually look at what he did since he murdered all those people and took over the world, like he has achieved world peace. You know, it is better for the majority of citizens, but it's like a horrific thing that he did, you know. And also, it was kind of you know, I like to do things in superhero books that, you know, I like to do things in Invincible that don't normally happen in superhero books, and so to have a storyline where a very important character goes bad and tries to take over the world, you know, that happens often. They don't ever win. You know, you never get to the end of a comic and go, well, Spider-Man lost? And I think Dr. Octopus owns New York now? Like, what? That's not a thing. Yeah. Cool. What was your favorite moment?
Is Negan a changed man?
Well, you know, we have issue 174, which will be coming out at some point in the future. I think I'm going to say December. Yeah, I think it comes out in December, which is an all Negan issue, and we'll very much deal with that situation and prove, I think, definitively whether or not he is a changed man or not, which is all I will say. Because were I to say anything else, I would spoil said issue of the comic. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it as vague as that. But you'll have an answer in December. Glad you came to the panel. I got him. Go ahead.
Hi. I know it's very early in development, but is there any small details you can tell us about the Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg adaptation of it?
Nope.
Well,
the same thing I said at San Diego a month ago. I mean, I'm in constant contact with Seth and Evan. I'll tell you a funny story. You guys want to hear a funny story? That's what these panels are for. So I had a Skype call with them. This all happened, and I'm going to now tell this in front of an audience. I had a Skype conversation with them when I was in Kentucky over the summer, and they were both in two different directions, or two different places, and so all three of us are Skyping in and talking about Invincible and stuff. And you know, I'm like, oh, I got that Skype call in like 20 minutes, and so I'm sitting at my desk and I'm working, and I got a thing for Christmas that's like it's a little plunger. It's about yay big, and you can stick it to the back of your phone as like a kickstand, okay? And it's been sitting on my desk for a while, and I'm like, yeah, this is a plunger. And I'm working and I'm sticking it to my desk. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I'm working, and then I start sticking it to my forehead. And I'm like, oh my God, it's still like 6. And I'm like sticking it on my forehead, and I'm like typing. And I got like a plunger on my forehead. And I pop it off, pull it off, and it's making like a, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Because I'm an idiot. I'm just, honestly, like the fact that I'm like clothed and in front of people right now is a miracle. And so I'm popping this thing off, and then I'm like, oh, yeah. Like I said, 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes till I got a call. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So I go to the bathroom. I'm urinating. Urine is coming out of me going to the toilet. I don't know why I'm getting so specific. Anyway, so then I wash my hands, and I look up in the mirror, and I've got a giant pink hickey on my forehead in the shape of that plunger. And I go, well, what the hell is it? Was I leaning on my forehead? Was it? Is that going away? And then my brain goes, no, you dumbass, you gave yourself a hickey with that fucking plunger. What's the matter with you? And I apologize for my profanity. Are there any kids in the room? Fuck you. Anyway, so I'm like, I've met them in person, I think, like once or twice, but it's not like I know them that well. I'm gonna pretend they're like my best friends for the sake of like marketing and seeming like a cool guy, but I barely know them. And so I'm like, I gotta get on a Skype call with these guys. Why? Oh boy. And so I get on, and they're signing on, and you know when you do a Skype call, you got the screen where you see them, and then you got the screen where you see yourself, and it's always distracting because we're all very narcissistic, and we're like, my chin is that? I've got 3. All right, you know, you're just looking at yourself, and so I'm looking at this damn hickey, and I can see it on the little bitty screen on my screen, and then I'm like, it's big on theirs. Oh boy. And so then I go. So I go, hey Seth, you seem like a man who, don't take this the wrong way, would know how long a hickey lasts. Because I don't. And he goes, yeah, I did notice that. So that's a hickey on your forehead? And I was like, yeah, it's a hickey. And I showed him the plunger, and I was like, I I was sticking this to my forehead. And to their credit, they did not leave the project. They thought it was funny. Seth told me a very embarrassing story. We started trading very embarrassing stories. Evan Goldberg's story was so embarrassing, I could not repeat it. I really want to, but I'm not. But then it reminded me of another anecdote. I had this big meeting with Galen Hurd and Frank Darabont, a bunch of people, right when we were getting ready to start on Walking Dead. And it was this big table. It was at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was one of the first people to show up. And I sat down and I ordered a Coke because I was still drinking soda then. You guys don't drink soda; it's bad for you. Anyway, and I picked up this glass of Coca-Cola, and it was all sweaty, and it slipped directly out of my hands and landed on my crotch. And my crotch was just covered in soda. But I was the first person to show up, so not only was I there by myself when it happened, but I had to stand up and greet everyone as they came in, because that's polite, I'm told. And so I would stand up and go, "Hi, I'm Robert, it's nice to meet you. I swear I poured a glass of Coca-Cola on my crotch and didn't pee myself," because I didn't want them to see it in passing and then wonder what had happened. And so I was like, it's kind of a good sign that Walking Dead started out with something super embarrassing, and now Invincible's starting out with something super embarrassing, so I'll take it as a good omen. So when Oblivion song gets made, I'll vomit on myself or something. I don't know, we'll see.
Thank you. Hi, I was here last year, and I got some advice from you, and you gave me a website to look up a publisher.
Oh boy. I hope this went well.
The problem is, as soon as I got home, I plugged in my phone into the computer, everything got deleted all at once, and it took me a whole year. I'm about to publish it at the end of the semester. I rewrote it all from memory.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is the writer's nightmare. That has happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, 40,000 words to rewrite altogether is not fun.
Oh yeah, I've never had that happen. I've had like 2 or 3 pages. I save more often.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a hard drive crash. Oof.
Anyways, I was wondering, what was it that the zombie book that you referred to me was? It was something about the city, and there was some kid that was talking about parkour, and there was something similar to that. A publisher, and the last question was, on behalf of my friends in the Marine Corps, when are Marines going to pop up in The Walking Dead?
Definitely need to do that. That question I have no idea. Damn it, zombie parkour book?
No, it had to do with zombies in the city, and I remember it specifically because...
Oh, in New York City by Bob Fingerman, and it's a comic book by Bob Fingerman and Tommy Lee Edwards. It's called Zombie World Winter's Dregs. It's really good. Yeah, it's zombies take over New York, and yeah, it's really good. Everyone else is like, why are we doing book recommendations?
No publishers to refer to, I think.
For comics?
Yeah, or just novels in general.
Oh, novels in general, I couldn't even name, I don't know, Simon & Schuster, I don't know novel publishers. But yeah, I mean, you gotta talk to Image Comics. But it's very easy. Like, you go to stores and they have comics, and then in the small print, they have the address to those publishers.
Right.
So literally just like, look at whatever comics you like, and then be like, oh, I'll send something to the publisher. Just send a blind submission to them. I mean, they get them, they read them. A lot of times they'll throw stuff away, but you'll eventually get through.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah, you just mail it out to everybody. Like, their addresses are all in there.
Right.
It's like a legal thing. Like a loophole. Go ahead.
All right, well, thanks for coming. First, I want to say thanks for coming, Mr. Kirkman.
Thank you.
So I'm just curious about the Walking Dead comic series.
Okay.
So first, were there any subplots that you wanted to work included in the series, but you just either scrapped it or just felt you couldn't make it work? And do you have an end game in mind for how the comic series will end, without giving anything away?
Yeah, I mean, I do have an end game in mind. I did mention this at Comic-Con. I have mentioned this very many times, that I do know what the eventual end will be at some point. I often say that it is, hundreds if not thousands of issues away. People still make clickbait articles talking about how I'm going to end The Walking Dead every time I mention that, so anybody out there who is writing clickbait articles right now, I did not say The Walking Dead is ending. I did not announce the end of Walking Dead. I just know what the eventual ending will be, and it's terrible, so I'm just never going to get there. Yeah, as far as subplots go, I mean, I don't know. There was a divorce plot that I had where Lori and Rick were going to get Apocalypse divorced. I thought that was neat. I was like, what do? You live in a prison together. You can't call a lawyer. You can't divide your assets. Visitation with the child. Like, how's that going to work? And then I was like, that all sounds boring, so I didn't do it. And then Negan was originally only supposed to be in the book for 6 issues. He was supposed to die at the end of that story arc, and then I was like, hey, I wonder what would happen if he talked to Carl. That'd lead to some cool scenes. Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep this guy around. And then I was like, I can't kill this guy. So now he's been around forever. So yeah, I mean, so that changed. Originally, Rick was going to decapitate him and deliver his head to Maggie as a gift. So that was cool. It didn't happen. You guys are all shocked, like that kind of stuff doesn't happen in Walking Dead all the time.
Thank goodness that didn't happen.
Right. We all love Negan.
Cool, thanks.
But I have that script written, and every time Jeffrey Dean Morgan acts up, I just slide that over. It's not true at all. We never talk. Go ahead.
Is there any character in The Walking Dead that you regret killing off?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I still wish I could write characters like Tyrese. I definitely miss Andrea, but you know, maybe spoilers for some trade readers. I don't know, so maybe we can catch up. But yeah, I mean, there's there's a regret and everything. I mean, I do love these characters. I am really invested in their stories, and I love being able to, you know, craft them and do terrible things to them. So when they die, I can't do that. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could, you know, mess with this imaginary character some more. But, you know, I don't really regret anything story-wise. I always see the benefits after a character dies and, you know, the stories that it leads to, and I always like those stories. And so, you know, there's not necessarily any character where I'm like, oh, I really fucked up. I should have kept this character around. I could have done this story and this story. Like, I'm happier with the stories that came afterwards. So, I guess the short answer is no. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, man? I was going to ask you, when do you plan on offing Rick?
Well, technically,
it's about time.
Yeah, I don't know, like 191 or so, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to answer that. Go ahead.
If Daryl was an original character in the comics, would you have wrote him any differently?
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have written him as well. Because I wouldn't have had Norman on set going, it'd be better if I said this. Which happens sometimes. He's like Norman's good thing is he's one of those actors that he's the rare actor that wants to say less lines, you know? So he'll be like, I can do this in like 4 words. Like, I don't know why you're making me say all this stuff. And you're like, oh, that works way better. That's cool. Norman's great. But I don't know. I mean, it would have been vastly different, but you know, I didn't have that idea. So that's why it didn't happen.
I'm going to go to a death that happened a little bit earlier.
Okay.
What was your thought process when you decided to kill Ezekiel off page?
Well, I think that it's unrealistic to give every character a grand exit. I mean, that's why, you know, big characters like Ezekiel and Abraham have like fairly abrupt, like like eventful deaths.
It was on page though.
It was on page, but it was also very abrupt and not like set up or anything. I don't know. I feel like you know, I wanted to have that punch of seeing those heads on the spikes, and you know, to a certain extent, you're like, oh my God, this character. Oh my God, well, I didn't even know who they were. Oh yeah, okay, which one was that one? Oh, this is so tragic. And then you turn the page, you're like, Ezekiel. Oh my God. You know, and that's important, and I think that is the impact of not seeing it and then seeing the result of it. I think is in a way like as big and as impactful as if you had seen it. So you know, just try different stuff. I don't know.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, so the pure-blooded Viltrumites said they followed Lord Argyle because of his wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Would he approve of what Nolan has done to the Viltrumite Empire?
Oh man, that's a big question. Yeah, I think that I think he probably would have. You know, I think it's. I don't think that Lord Argyle would have been able to foresee the transformation that the Viltrumites have overcome or have, you know, like had happen to them on Earth, because one of the ideas with the Viltrumites is that they, you know, they're aliens, so they live in a different society. They have their own kind of rights and wrongs. They have their own kind of, you know, decision making and processes that you know, inform their everyday life, and so they don't have like some elements of our humanity. They don't have attachments the same way that we do, and they don't like exist in the same way we do. And so you know, while the Viltrumites may say that Argyle had wisdom. I don't know that we would necessarily recognize his wisdom as being as wise as they would. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to kind of play with just alien life and how, you know, even though they may look human and they may be able to converse with us and everything, they just think differently than us. And so that's why you see them so violent. And that's why they've changed so much since they've come to Earth.
Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, what's next for Battle Beast, aside from being dead? And what can you say about your upcoming, your Amazon development team?
Cool. So, nothing coming up for Battle Beast.
Zombie Battle Beast?
He's dead. Even his skin cape, I think, got destroyed in the fight. So yeah, he's not around anymore. Even his skin is no longer gone. That's how crazy Invincible is. But yeah, you know, there is a scene that does, you know, indicate that there may be another form of Battle Beast out there. There's only 3 issues left. It'd be a real downer if I just didn't ever bring that up again, you know. So there will be some form of resolution on that. I'm completely spoiling that, so sorry. But yeah, that's going to come back up, and it's going to be real cool. I'm really excited about that. And then as far as the Amazon deal goes, very excited. Signed a 2-year deal to develop things at Amazon with my company Skybound. So we're doing all kinds of cool stuff. I'm working with Sharon Tall Eduardo, who ran Fox International, became very involved in Walking Dead with season 1. That's why we had that large global launch for the series, which I think, you know, really helped it grow and be as popular as it was. And we've had a very close relationship with her at Skybound. She, you know, co-produced Cinemax's Outcast with Fox International, and so that's why that had a big global launch. And she's since gone to Amazon to do all kinds of really cool stuff for them. She's been tasked with bringing them a lot of cool genre shows. And so her first thought was, hey, the guy that did Walking Dead and Outcast, let's bring him in. And I was like, I like getting packages from Amazon. By the way, my deal with Amazon, I do not get faster shipping. I do not get discounts. Really unhappy with that aspect of it. Very happy with everything else. But, you know, the faster shit, like, come on. Same day shipping, can't I get it the same hour? I don't understand, you know, is it asking too much? I guess so. You know, but no, so we're going to be doing like a lot of, hopefully, like really cool big genre shows over the next few years. So that's exciting.
Cool, thanks for everything, man.
Cool. Thank you for everything, sir.
Well, to stay with that question, when do you think we're going to...
I was not ready for you. Give me a moment. No, go ahead.
Yes. So to stay with that...
Are you an Amazon executive?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I do cover Amazon Studios. I'm Simon Applebaum, but tomorrow we televise a show about television on Blog Talk Radio, and we do cover a lot of the Amazon shows.
Very cool.
When do you think we'll have the first Amazon show on?
Hopefully next week or so. No, I don't know. You can never really nail down development stuff, but we're moving forward with some things behind the scenes. Hopefully we'll have some announcements soon, and you know, then we'll go forward from there. The answer is I don't know, but I feel like I would be you know, shortchanging you if I were to just say I don't know. So I just meander and then hope that at some point it sounds like a feasible answer, and then I just go over there like it never happened. So that's how this works.
Got that. Thank you.
I'm not that great at it, so yeah, sorry. I wish I had a better answer.
Hi. So
See how quickly that just...
going back to Rick's death, I guess
Sure.
instead of asking when, why? Why is it a plot point that's really huge, but you don't really seem to care for fans to know it's coming? And then also, why is it so important for you to stick to that?
Well, the series is going to go on for a very long time. He's going to die eventually. I think most people are going to die eventually in the book. So I don't really think of it as that much of a spoiler. I think it's very important that the audience know that no one is safe. I think that for going on 170 issues, or 175 issues, Rick has clearly been safe because he hasn't died. But hopefully there have been points along the way where you're like, oh God, is this the one where Rick dies? And then you're like, oh God, if not. one day eventually you'll go, is this the one where Rick dies? And then you'll be like, oh my God, it is! So I hopefully haven't ruined that. But, it could happen anywhere between now and 50 years from now. So we'll see. The book's going to go on forever. I don't know. 50 years, it's not going to happen. It'll end far before 50 years. That's definitely an exaggeration. There are executives at AMC right now, they're like, did he just say it's not going 50 years? Oh my God, our stock prices. But yeah, so hopefully it's not too much of a spoiler. He doesn't die. Go ahead.
First of all, I like my shirt.
It's hard to read from a distance.
Oh, it's actually.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I get it. I get it. No, I saw that. Yeah. I like that. That's really cool.
Thank you. First of all, I'm a really huge fan of both the comic and show, and I love the way the show brings the comic to life. So there's two characters I really like in the comic. Heath is one of them, and Jesus is the other. And Heath was perfectly cast for the show, and Jesus in the comic has such a big role in the comic book.
Right.
So my question really is, could we expect to see Corey come back as Heath, and could we expect Jesus to take on that bigger role that he has in the comic book?
Yes. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for Jesus in season 8. So be on the lookout for that. Don't want to spoil anything. Corey Hawkins. I know Scott has publicly said that he won't be back in season 8, but there is an intention to bring him back eventually. He had the opportunity to go do that 24 show, and we wanted to be facilitating and allow him to do that. So we had him for a little bit in season 7, but hopefully there's every intention that we will get Heath back at some point. But it's in contract land. So yeah. But yeah, Corey is amazing. Loved him in Kong, Skull Island, and that 24 show, 24 Legacy, I think it was called, was like super cool. So yeah, we would love to get him back, and we'll have some awesome Heath stories when he does. So cool. Thank you.
Hey, Rob.
Hello.
So, certain characters like Negan and Jesus, a lot of fans would really have a big following for, really like them. Do you find that affects your writing, either not necessarily whether or not you kill them off, but even just the amount of screen time or focus they get, panel time? Do you feel like that affects your writing, or do you try to just ignore all that and just stick to your original?
I try to ignore all that, but I think it'd be foolish as a writer to recognize a character's popularity and then try to work against that. I mean, when somebody, to a certain extent, I can control that. If I give people more scenes and I give people good scenes, then that rises in popularity, and that's kind of a thing. So it's kind of by design. When you really like Jesus or you really like Negan, I'm behind the scenes, going, oh, I'll have him say this clever thing, and maybe they'll like that. And sometimes it doesn't work out. And there's characters along the way where I'm like, why did that character catch on? And then I kill him. But yeah, it does affect things a little bit. It's a very large cast, and so there are times where I'll be reading the fan mail and people will be like, where's this character? And I'm like, fuck, when's the last time that character showed up? It's been 9 issues? It's been 9 issues? Okay. Putting a scene of this guy in the next issue. So that does happen from time to time, but yeah, I don't know.
So there's instances where there's characters where it was by design, where it's, Survivor 63, people really like him.
Yeah, I can't think of an instance where I didn't specifically try to introduce a new character that would be cool. Every character that I introduce, there's some plan for them. They're there to do a certain thing. A lot of times I have their entire arc mapped out all the way to their death. I do change that sometimes. Negan is a very good case of that. But when you introduce a character and you have them do something fairly definitive, that is by design to introduce a new character to the table and try and fill in the cast that is getting smaller and smaller as characters drop off. So the only way Walking Dead works is if we constantly infuse characters that you care about into the mix. Otherwise, we'd run out of characters and the book would just be a bunch of trees blown in the wind. Wouldn't that be weird? I don't want to read that tree book. It started out real cool. Every now and then a zombie walks by and that's cool, but otherwise there's a bunch of trees blowing in the wind. I'm not going to watch that. So, or read that. So yeah, we gotta pump some new life into it from time to time.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you...
Thinking about this tree book, though, I think it'd be pretty good. I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a real girly question, probably embarrass my son, but... So...
Is your son present?
I'm not going to point them out.
Oh, you must. All right.
So... I don't do comic books, none of them, but I love a big fan of the Walking Dead show.
Great, good to hear.
So I as a fan, I was very happy when Rick and Michonne got together. So I wanted to know, was that always your plan, or did it kind of happen because the fans were all for it?
That was actually something that Scott Gimple came up with, because when he did the Clear episode, when Michonne and Carl and Rick went to encounter Morgan in that little town, he started noticing a lot of chemistry between Denai and Rick. You know, he's like, these characters really pop together. Like their dialogue is really good, and they have like a real affinity for each other. And you know, before even telling anyone, you know, when he was writing that episode, he wrote it in the mindset of, oh, I think it'd be really cool if these two characters, you know, end up together. And he came to me like a year or two later and was like, oh, you know, I'm thinking about putting, you know, Michonne and Rick together eventually. And as you know, Andrea not in the show, and so we don't really have that storyline available to us. And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, no, I think that's perfect. I mean, we don't take all of Andrea's story and just give it to Michonne, because Michonne has her own story, but there is kind of a hodgepodge of like, this bit of Andrea goes to Michonne, and this bit of Andrea goes to Sasha, and this bit of Andrea goes to Carol, and you know, we kind of pull stories that we do, you know, and give them to different characters because Andrea's not available to us. But I just think, you know, I think those two characters, you know, in the show especially, they do have a camaraderie, and they have a tremendous friendship in the comics, which I think plays well into the show. And I love seeing them together, and I think they're both great actors. And yeah, it's great, like seeing them be happy together. You know, like it's like man, maybe this show isn't so bleak after all. You know.
Okay, please don't kill her.
I don't think we will. Go ahead.
Mr. Kirkman, I just want to thank you for all your works, video games, shows, and
thank you.
Obviously comics. But this is a softball one, but obviously yeah, I feel like there was a lot of serious questions before. I just wanted to like lighten up.
So you're saying this isn't about racism?
But
great.
So obviously all your creations are your babies, right? But if you have to do fornicate, marry, kill, wait, Walking Dead.
For all the children in the audience, what this game is. Go ahead.
Let's go with Walking Dead, Invincible, and Battlefield. And why? If I maybe be so bold to ask.
Okay, Walking Dead. I would. Okay, hold on. I would. Let me think. I would fornicate with Rick Grimes. I would marry Rick Grimes, and then I would kill Rick Grimes in that order. And then I'm not going to answer these questions. This is terrible. It's terrible. Sit down. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shame on you. Horrible person. Don't sit down. Keep walking to the exit. Woman's child is sitting right there. Go ahead.
One of my favorite moments in season 7 was hearing Donny Hathaway's "Someday We'll All Be Free." If you could pick any song to put into The Walking Dead, what would it be?
Any song? I don't know. I mean, I really like Neil Young. Really mean a Neil Young song? I'm not good with music. I don't know. You're asking me things. Some Fleet Foxes songs there, that'd be good. I don't know, that wouldn't fit at all. It's a band, I don't know, I'm not a good guy. Can I let you in a little secret? When music shows up on The Walking Dead, I watch a cut, and the music plays, and I go, neat. That is the sum total of my involvement in the music on Walking Dead. Every now and then, for the Comic-Con trailer, they'll go, what do you think of the music? And I'll go, maybe we try something different. And then they do something different, and I go, that's pretty cool. And that is it. Not a music expert.